The alien ship was huge. Commander Tekvar stood on the bridge and watched the blue planet grow larger on his screen. Earth looked like so many other worlds he had visited: water, land, and white clouds. Nothing special about it. "Sir, we are getting close to their solar system," said his aide. "The humans are sending radio signals to us." Tekvar nodded. He had done this many times before. New species always got excited when the Federation found them. They would bow down and be grateful for the chance to join the galactic community. Humans would be the same. "What do our scans show about their technology?" he asked. The science officer looked at his data. "Basic chemical rockets, sir. Some nuclear power. Very simple stuff. They seem to have magnetic fields around some of their ships, but nothing we have not seen before." Tekvar smiled. Another primitive race trying to play with magnetism. Most young civilizations did this. They would build simple magnetic devices and think they were clever. It was almost cute. On Earth, Kim Ji-woo sat in her office and looked out the window. She was the defense minister, and today would change everything. The aliens were coming, and she had to make sure humanity was ready. Her phone rang. "Minister Kim, this is Park Min-ho. The alien ship will be here in 6 hours." Park Min-ho was Earth's best military mind. He had spent years in the Navy before becoming a strategist. If anyone could figure out these aliens, it was him. "Are our ships ready?" Kim Ji-woo asked. "Yes, ma'am. Captain Choi Hyun-woo has the Soul's Pride prepared for escort duty. Our railgun systems are powered up, just in case." Kim Ji-woo nodded. She hoped they would not need weapons, but it was better to be safe. At the Terra Defense Institute, Lee Soo-jin was nervous. She was one of Earth's top scientists, and she had been chosen to show the aliens human technology. She had prepared a presentation about electromagnetic weapons, but she wondered if the aliens would be interested. The Federation ship landed near New York. It was silver and smooth, much larger than any human spacecraft. Thousands of people came to watch as the aliens walked down a ramp. Commander Tekvar was tall and thin, with blue skin and 4 arms. He wore a uniform covered in medals. Behind him came other aliens of different species, all looking important. Kim Ji-woo met them with a small group of Earth officials. She had practiced this moment many times. "Welcome to Earth," she said. "We are honored to meet you." Tekvar looked down at her. Humans were so small compared to most galactic species. "Greetings. I am Commander Tekvar of the Galactic Federation. We have come to evaluate your species for membership." The word evaluate made Kim Ji-woo uncomfortable, but she smiled anyway. They went to the United Nations building for talks. The aliens sat on one side of a large table, humans on the other. Park Min-ho watched the aliens carefully. He noticed they wore energy shields and carried weapons that glowed with power. "Tell us about your technology," said Tekvar. "We have seen your primitive rockets and simple magnetic devices." Kim Ji-woo looked at Lee Soo-jin, who stood up with her tablet computer. "We would like to show you our electromagnetic acceleration systems," Lee Soo-jin said. "We call them railguns. They can launch projectiles at very high speeds using magnetic fields." The aliens looked at each other and made sounds that might have been laughter. "Magnetic toys," whispered one alien to another. "How adorable." Tekvar held up one hand. "That is very nice, but we do not need to see your magnetic experiments. We have seen many young species play with magnetism. It is a normal stage of development." Lee Soo-jin felt her face get hot. "Sir, these are not toys. They are weapons that can—" "Please," said Tekvar. "Let us talk about important things. Your species shows promise, but you are still very primitive. The Federation can help you grow and learn." Park Min-ho wrote notes on his paper. The aliens thought humans were weak. That could be useful information. The talks continued for hours. The aliens explained how the Federation worked. There were thousands of species all working together. They had rules and laws. They had big ships and powerful weapons. "What level of membership would we get?" asked Kim Ji-woo. "Level 3, said Tekvar. "You would be junior members. You could trade with us and learn from us. In a few hundred years, you might become full members." "A few hundred years?" Kim Ji-woo tried to stay calm. "Yes, your species needs time to grow up. You still use chemical rockets and play with simple magnets. You are like children compared to us." That night, the human leaders met in private. "I do not like this," said Park Min-ho. "They think we are stupid. They will not listen to us." "They would not even look at our railgun data," said Lee Soo-jin. "They think our weapons are toys." Kim Ji-woo was quiet for a moment. What if they are right? What if we really are primitive? Park Min-ho shook his head. Our railguns can punch through any armor we have ever built. They accelerate metal slugs to incredible speeds. If these aliens think that is primitive, they do not understand physics. The next day, more talks happened. The aliens brought contracts for Earth to sign. The papers were thick and full of legal words. This gives the Federation the right to take resources from your planet, explained Thekvar. In return, we will protect you and teach you. Kim Ji-woo read the contract carefully. It was not good for humanity. Earth would become like a colony. We need time to think about this, she said. Thekvar looked annoyed. Most species are grateful for this opportunity. Are you refusing our generous offer? We are not refusing. We just need time. That evening, Captain Choi Hyunwoo met with his crew on the Seoul's Pride. His ship was Earth's most advanced spacecraft, equipped with experimental railgun systems. What do you think of our visitors? He asked Bae Tae-hyung, his young weapons officer. They seem very confident, sir. Maybe too confident. Choi Hyunwoo nodded. I have been watching their ships. They have energy shields and plasma weapons. Very advanced. But I noticed something interesting. What, sir? Their armor is designed to stop energy weapons. Lasers, plasma, particle beams. But I do not think it can stop a solid projectile moving at high speed. Before leaving, Thekvar filed his report to the Federation High Command. He wrote that humans were a typical Level 3 species with basic chemical technology and simple magnetic understanding. He recommended standard junior membership with resource extraction rights. He did not mention the human weapons called railguns. He had decided they were just magnetic toys not worth reporting. As the alien ship left Earth, Park Min-ho stood with Kim Ji-woo and watched it disappear into space. They will be back, he said. And when they come, they will expect us to sign their contract. What if we refuse? Asked Kim Ji-woo. Park Min-ho was quiet for a moment. Then we better hope our magnetic toys work as well as we think they do. 3 months had passed since the aliens first came to Earth. Now they were back and they were not happy. Commander Thekvar sat across from Kim Ji-woo in the same meeting room. This time he had brought more officials with him. All of them looked serious. Have you decided about our offer? He asked. Kim Ji-woo had spent weeks reading the contract. Earth's best lawyers had looked at it too. The deal was bad for humanity. Very bad. We have some concerns, she said carefully. The contract gives the Federation too much control over Earth. Thekvar's blue face showed no emotion. This is a standard agreement. All junior species sign the same contract. But it says you can take our resources without paying fair prices, and you want to put Federation bases on our planet. That is for your protection, said another alien. Young species like yours need guidance. Behind Kim Ji-woo, Park Min-ho watched the aliens. Something had changed. They seemed more aggressive than before, less friendly. After the meeting, Park Min-ho walked to his office and called Admiral Yang Do-yun. Yang was in charge of the Pacific Fleet and had been watching alien activities through telescopes and radar. Admiral, what are you seeing out there? Park Min-ho asked. Yang's voice was worried. Not good news, Park. We have spotted Federation ships near our outer colonies. They are not supposed to be there. Park Min-ho felt cold. How many ships? At least 30 big ones. They are trying to hide behind asteroids, but our deep space sensors found them. This was bad news. The Federation was moving military ships close to human settlements. That was not the action of friends. Keep watching them, said Park Min-ho, and start moving our defensive ships into position. Quietly. At the same time, Shin Mirai was working late in her intelligence office. She was good at finding secrets, and right now she was very worried about what she had found. Her computer screen showed intercepted Federation communications. Most of it was in alien languages, but their computers had translated some parts. The messages talked about primitive species management and resource extraction protocols. They also mentioned something called pacification procedures. Shin Mirai printed the messages and ran to Admiral Yang's office. Admiral, you need to see this, she said, breathing hard. Yang read the papers quickly. His face got darker with each page. They are planning something, he said. These messages talk about taking control of human colonies. There is more, sir. They intercepted our military communications yesterday. Yang looked up sharply. What did they hear? We were talking to the Luna base about upgrading the rail systems. The aliens heard us mention electromagnetic acceleration and projectile velocities. Yang was quiet for a moment. What did they think we were talking about? Shinmirai checked her notes. According to their translation logs, they think we were discussing transportation, magnetic trains and cargo systems. Yang almost smiled. They still do not understand our weapons. The next day, Li Sujin tried again to show the Federation representatives human military technology. She had prepared a new presentation with videos and technical data. Please look at this, she said to a group of alien scientists. This is our electromagnetic launcher system. It can accelerate projectiles to 12% of light speed. The alien scientists looked at her data with polite interest. Very impressive transportation system, said one. Magnetic acceleration for moving cargo, yes? We have similar systems on our freight networks. Li Sujin wanted to scream. No, this is not for cargo. This is a weapon. It launches projectiles that can destroy enemy ships. The aliens made those laughing sounds again. Human imagination is amusing, said another scientist. You think your magnetic train systems are weapons? How creative. Li Sujin tried to explain, but they would not listen. They had decided that humans were primitive, and nothing would change their minds. Meanwhile, Captain Choi Hyunwoo was patrolling near the moon with his ship Soul's Pride. His sensors picked up something interesting. Sir, said Bai Tae-hyung from the weapons station, I am detecting Federation ships approaching the mining colony on Kepler 442b. Choi Hyunwoo studied his screen. The colony was small, only a few thousand people, but it was important. They mined rare metals that Earth needed for technology. How many ships? He asked. 5 cruisers and 2 support vessels. Are they armed? Yes, sir. Full military configuration. This was not a friendly visit. Choi Hyunwoo opened a communication channel to Earth Command. Earth Command, this is Soul's Pride. Federation forces are approaching Kepler colony. Request instructions, Park Min-ho's voice came back quickly. Monitor the situation. Do not engage unless they attack first. At the Kepler colony, Administrator Im Jae-won was watching the alien ships approach. He had tried to contact them, but they would not answer his calls. His communication officer, a young woman named Oh Yeon-hee, was trying different radio frequencies. Sir, I am getting something, she said. They are transmitting in Federation Standard. What are they saying? Oh Yeon-hee listened carefully. They say this is a protective inspection. They want to board our station. Im Jae-won did not like this. Tell them we do not consent to boarding. This is human territory. Oh Yeon-hee sent the message, but the alien response was cold. They say they do not need our permission. They are coming aboard anyway. Im Jae-won activated the emergency alert. All over the colony, people heard the warning sirens. They had practiced for this day, but they hoped it would never come. Back on Earth, the Federation negotiators were getting impatient. Thekvar called another meeting with Kim Ji-woo. Your species is being very stubborn, he said. Most races are grateful for Federation membership. Why do you keep delaying? Kim Ji-woo had prepared for this question. We want to make sure we understand the agreement completely. There is nothing to understand. You sign the contract and we help you grow. You refuse and you stay alone and primitive. Is that a threat? Kim Ji-woo asked. Thekvar's forearms moved in what might have been a shrug. It is reality. The galaxy is dangerous. Species that refuse Federation protection often have accidents. The room was very quiet. Park Min-ho wrote notes, but inside he was angry. The aliens were threatening Earth. That night, Kim Ji-woo met with her advisors in secret. They are not our friends, said Park Min-ho. They want to control us. What about our colonies? Asked Yang Do-yun. The Federation is moving ships near all our settlements. How are our defenses? Kim Ji-woo asked. Ready, said Yang. Our railgun platforms are charged and targeted. If they attack, we can fight back. But can we win? Yang was honest. I do not know. They have more ships than us, but their ships are designed to fight energy weapons. Our kinetic projectiles might surprise them. Li Sujin spoke up. They still think our railguns are transportation systems. They have no idea what will hit them. The next morning brought bad news. Im Jae-won sent an emergency message from Kepler Colony. Earth Command. Federation forces have landed on our station. They are setting up what they call a protective garrison. They say it is for our own safety, but they will not let anyone leave. Kim Ji-woo felt sick. The Federation was taking control of human colonies by force. Send them a message, she told Oh Yeon-hee. Tell them to withdraw from human territory immediately. The alien response came quickly. It was from Fleet Commander Zerthak, who was in charge of all Federation military forces in this sector. Human government, You're being emotional about a simple security measure. Your colonists are safe under Federation protection. Sign the membership contract and there will be no problems. Kim Ji-woo looked at the contract one more time. If she signed it, Earth would become a Federation colony. If she refused, they would take the human settlements by force anyway. What do we do? She asked Park Min-ho. Park Min-ho was quiet for a long moment. Then he looked up with determination in his eyes. We fight. We show them that humans are not as primitive as they think. Outside, Federation ships were moving closer to Earth. Commander Thekvar was confident that the humans would surrender soon. After all, they only had chemical rockets and magnetic toys. He had no idea that those magnetic toys were about to change everything. The situation was getting worse every day. Federation ships now surrounded 3 human colonies, and more alien vessels were arriving each week. Kim Ji-woo knew that war was coming, but she wanted to try one last time to avoid it. Send Captain Choi, she told Park Min-ho. If anyone can make them understand, it is him. Captain Choi Hyun-woo received his orders, while his ship Seoul's Pride was patrolling near Mars. He was to meet with Fleet Commander Zerthak aboard the massive Federation dreadnought Infinite Justice. His mission was simple but dangerous. Warn the aliens one final time about human military capabilities. Sir, are you sure about this? Asked Bae Tae-hyung, his weapons officer. The young man looked nervous. No, Choi Hyun-woo said honestly, but we have to try. Maybe if they understand what our weapons can do, they will think twice about attacking. Oh Yeon-hee, the communications officer, was preparing the translation equipment. She had spent days programming new phrases into the system, trying to find ways to make the aliens understand that railguns were weapons, not transportation. I have added military terms and ballistics data to the translator, she said. Maybe this time they will listen. The Seoul's Pride approached the Infinite Justice slowly. The Federation ship was enormous, bigger than anything humans had ever built. It bristled with energy weapons and had shields that glowed with power. Federation vessel, this is Captain Choi Hyun-woo requesting permission to come aboard. He transmitted. The reply came quickly. Permission granted, primitive vessel. Dock at Port 7. As they docked, Choi Hyun-woo looked at his small crew. Remember, we are here to prevent a war. Stay calm, no matter what they say. The inside of the alien ship was impressive. The corridors were wide and filled with strange technology. Alien crew members watched the humans with curiosity and amusement. Fleet Commander Zerthak waited in a large conference room. He was even bigger than Commander Thekvar, with thick armor and multiple weapons on his belt. Around him stood other alien officers, all looking confident and relaxed. Welcome aboard, Captain, said Zerthak. His voice was deep and powerful. I hope you have come to discuss your species' surrender. I have come to discuss peace, Choi Hyun-woo replied carefully. But first I need to warn you about our military capabilities. The alien officers made those laughing sounds again. Your military? Said Zerthak. We have scanned your ships, Captain. Chemical rockets and simple magnetic devices. Very impressive for a primitive species, but hardly a threat to the Federation. Choi Hyun-woo activated his tablet and showed technical specifications for human railguns. These are not simple magnetic devices, he said. They are weapons that accelerate projectiles to significant fractions of light speed. Oyani watched the translation display nervously. The alien computer was translating railgun as rail transport system and projectile as cargo pod. Zerthak looked at the data with mild interest. Yes, magnetic rail systems for moving cargo. We use similar technology throughout the Federation. Very efficient. No, said Choi Hyun-woo, frustration creeping into his voice. These launch solid projectiles at enemy targets. The kinetic energy alone can destroy a starship. The translation, system converted solid projectiles to freight containers and kinetic energy to transportation efficiency. Your freight rail systems are indeed impressive, said another alien officer. Such enthusiasm for cargo transport shows your species has potential. Choi Hyun-woo tried a different approach. Commander, what defenses do your ships have against high-velocity impact weapons? The aliens looked confused. Impact weapons? Said Zerthak. Do you mean primitive chemical explosives? Our energy shields can stop any chemical warhead. Not explosives, Choi Hyun-woo said desperately. Solid metal projectiles moving at 12% light speed. The translation system was struggling with this concept. It kept converting the phrase to something about metal cargo moving on rail networks. Ah, said Zerthak with understanding. You are talking about your transportation infrastructure. Yes, moving metal cargo at high efficiency is very important for industrial development. Oh yeah, and he was frantically trying different ways to input the information. She tried using mathematical formulas, showing the mass and velocity calculations for railgun projectiles. The aliens looked at her numbers with polite confusion. Interesting transportation mathematics, commented the science officer, though I do not understand why cargo pods need to move at such high speeds. Meanwhile, back at Kepler Colony, MG-1 was sending increasingly desperate messages to Earth. The Federation occupation was getting worse. Earth Command, the aliens have installed some kind of garrison here, he reported. They have energy shields and plasma weapons, but I noticed something important. What is it? Came Park Minho's voice from Earth. Their armor and shields are all designed for energy weapons. I do not see any protection against solid impacts. If someone threw a rock at them, I think it would go right through their defenses. This information went straight to Admiral Yang Do-yun, who was coordinating Earth's defense preparations. Interesting, Yang said to his staff. The aliens have spent so long fighting energy-based wars that they forgot about simple kinetic weapons. At the same time, Kang Silgi was working in her engineering lab, making final adjustments to the railgun systems. She was one of Earth's best weapons engineers, and she had been upgrading the electromagnetic launchers for months. How much power can we push through the coils now? Asked her assistant. Enough to accelerate a tungsten rod to 15% light speed, she said with satisfaction. At that velocity, even a small projectile carries enormous destructive energy. Back aboard the Infinite Justice, Choi Hyunwoo was making one last desperate attempt to communicate. Commander Zerthak, I am trying to warn you that human weapons are more dangerous than you think. If shooting starts, many beings will die unnecessarily. Zerthak stood up, his massive form towering over the human captain. Captain, your concern is touching but misguided. We have fought wars across the galaxy for thousands of years. We know every type of weapon that exists. Have you ever fought against kinetic accelerators? Choi Hyunwoo asked. The translator converted this to transportation accelerators, which made no sense in a military context. I think you mean energy accelerators, said Zerthak. Particle beams, plasma cannons, photon torpedoes. Yes, we have extensive experience with all forms of energy weapons. What about solid projectiles? Choi Hyunwoo tried once more. Solid projectiles? You mean chemical rockets with explosive warheads? Captain, that technology is thousands of years old. Our shields can stop such primitive weapons easily. He was near tears. No matter how she tried to explain, the aliens could not understand that humans had weaponized pure kinetic energy. The meeting ended with Zerthak giving Choi Hyunwoo an ultimatum. Tell your leaders they have 24 hours to sign the Federation contract. If they refuse, we will begin pacification operations against all human settlements. What does that mean? Choi Hyunwoo asked, though he already knew. It means we will occupy your colonies and your homeworld by force. Do not worry, Captain. We will be gentle with your primitive species. Few of you will be harmed if you do not resist. As the Soul's Pride undocked from the Infinite Justice, Choi Hyunwoo sent a coded message to Earth Command. Negotiation failed. They will not listen. They think our railguns are transportation systems. Recommend all defense platforms power up immediately. Back on Earth, Kim Ji-woo received the message with sadness but not surprise. We tried, she said to Park Min-ho. We gave them every chance to understand. What are your orders, Minister? Park Min-ho asked. Kim Ji-woo looked out her window at the sky, knowing that alien warships were up there, preparing to attack her world. Send a message to all human colonies and defense stations, she said quietly. Tell them to prepare for combat, and may God help us all. In space, Fleet Commander Zerthak was confident as he prepared his attack fleet. The humans had refused to surrender, but it did not matter. His ships had energy shields that could stop any primitive weapon. His crews were trained and experienced. The humans only had chemical rockets and magnetic cargo systems. What could they possibly do against the might of the Federation? He was about to find out. The war was over in 18 hours. When the final Federation ship limped away from human space, the galaxy had changed forever. Engineering Officer Kextall stood in the wreckage of what had been the Federation flagship Infinite Justice. The ship was gone, torn away by a tungsten projectile that had hit them at incredible speed. Around him, damage control teams worked to keep the remaining sections from breaking apart. "Sir," said a young technician, "I found the projectile that hit us." Kextall followed the technician to a section of twisted metal. Embedded in the bulkhead was a simple tungsten rod, no bigger than a man's arm. "This is what destroyed our ship?" Kextall asked in disbelief. "Yes, sir. The computer says it was moving at 12% light speed when it hit us. The kinetic energy alone was equivalent to a nuclear weapon." Kextall studied the simple piece of metal. No explosive warhead, no energy field, no complex technology. Just a chunk of tungsten accelerated to enormous speed by electromagnetic fields. How did we not see this coming? He wondered aloud. The technician looked nervous. "Sir, the humans tried to warn us. They kept talking about their kinetic acceleration systems, but our translators kept converting it to transportation terminology." Kextall felt sick. The Federation had been so certain of their superiority that they had ignored every warning the humans gave them. Back on Earth, Song Minji was preparing for the most important diplomatic mission in human history. She was Earth's new ambassador to the galaxy, and she was about to meet with the Federation High Council. "Are you ready for this?" asked Kim Ji-woo. Song Min-jae looked at the formal documents in her hands. They were surrender papers, but not for humanity. "As ready as anyone can be for rewriting galactic law," she replied. The meeting took place on the neutral space station Harmony Point. Representatives from hundreds of alien species had come to witness this historic moment. The Federation High Council, once the most powerful organization in the galaxy, now sat defeated at a conference table. Song Min-jae entered the chamber accompanied by Admiral Jin Woo-sung. Behind them came a full escort of human warships, their railgun batteries clearly visible to anyone watching. "Members of the High Council," Song Min-jae began, "we are here to discuss new terms for peace between humanity and the Federation." High Counselor Vexton, the most senior Federation official, looked old and tired. "What are your demands?" Song Min-jae opened her folder. "First, all Federation forces will withdraw from human territory immediately. Second, the Federation will recognize Earth's full sovereignty and territorial claims. And third?" asked Vexton, though he already knew what was coming. "Third, humanity will be granted full Federation membership with a permanent seat on the Military Council." The chamber was silent. A species that had been considered primitive just days ago was now dictating terms to the galactic government. "Your weapons," said Vexton quietly. "We underestimated them completely." Admiral Jin Woo-sung spoke up. "You underestimated the power of kinetic energy, Counselor. In your thousands of years of energy-based warfare, you forgot that sometimes the old ways are still the best ways." "But how?" asked another counselor. "How did you develop such devastating weapons?" Song Minji smiled. "We did not develop anything new. Humans have been throwing rocks since the dawn of our species. We just learned to throw them very, very fast." After the formal surrender ceremony, Song Min-jae met privately with Vexton. "What happens now?" the old alien asked. "Now we learn from each other," Song Min-jae replied. "The Federation has knowledge that humanity needs. Energy shields, faster than light travel, medical technology. In return, we can teach you about kinetic warfare. You would share your weapons technology with us? After we tried to conquer you?" Song Min-jae nodded. "War is over, Counselor. Now we build peace." On Earth, Lim So-young was interviewing Park Min-ho for the official war history. She was a military historian, and this conflict would be studied for centuries. "General Park," she said, "why do you think the Federation could not understand our warnings about railgun technology?" Park Min-ho thought for a moment. They had become too specialized. For thousands of years, all galactic warfare used energy weapons, lasers, plasma, particle beams. They built their entire military doctrine around energy-based combat. And then they met us. And then they met a species that had weaponized pure kinetic energy, something they had not seen in their recorded history. Lim So-young made notes. "What was the key to our victory?" Park Min-ho smiled. "Simplicity. They expected complex energy weapons and sophisticated defenses. Instead, we just threw rocks at them. Really, really fast rocks. Is that how you explain it to people? That is exactly how I explain it. Sometimes the best solution is the simplest one. We took basic physics, mass times acceleration equals force, and applied it with advanced engineering. Meanwhile, at the Federation Military Academy on Proxima Station, something unprecedented was happening. Human instructors had arrived to teach alien cadets about kinetic warfare. Captain Choi Hyun-woo stood before a classroom full of young aliens from dozens of different species. On the wall behind him was a diagram showing how electromagnetic coils could accelerate projectiles. "Who can tell me why kinetic weapons are effective against energy shields?" he asked. A young Alterian cadet raised her hand. "Because shields deflect energy, but they cannot stop solid matter?" "Correct. Energy shields work by creating electromagnetic fields that redirect particle beams and plasma bolts. But a chunk of tungsten has mass, and mass follows ballistic trajectories that cannot be deflected." The cadets took careful notes. This was revolutionary thinking for species that had used energy weapons for millennia. "Sir," asked another cadet, "why did it take so long for anyone to think of this?" Choi Hyun-woo considered the question. "Because once you develop advanced energy weapons, kinetic weapons seem primitive. Your ancestors probably used projectile weapons too, but you forgot about them when you discovered plasma cannons, so humans are not actually more advanced than us?" "In some ways we are less advanced," Choi admitted. "We cannot build energy shields or faster-than-light drives. But we never stopped improving our kinetic weapons. We kept making them faster and more accurate." 5 years later, the galaxy was a different place. The first Federation ships equipped with hybrid weapon systems were entering service. They carried both energy weapons and railgun batteries, making them far more versatile than the old energy-only designs. At the Terra Defense Institute, Lee Soo-jin was working on new projects with alien scientists. Together they were developing weapons that combined human kinetic technology with Federation energy systems. "Dr. Lee," said her vegan research partner, "these new projectiles with energy cores are remarkably effective." Lee Soo-jin smiled. "Wait until you see what we are working on next." Railgun-launched antimatter warheads. Her alien colleague made excited noises. "The destructive potential would be enormous." "That is the idea, though I hope we never have to use them." The balance of galactic power had shifted permanently. Energy weapons were still important, but kinetic systems were now considered equally vital. Military academies throughout the Federation taught courses on primitive kinetic theory that were actually advanced physics applied to warfare. On Earth, Kim Ji-woo stood in her office and looked up at the stars. Humanity had gone from being considered a primitive species to being respected as equals in just one day of combat. "Minister," said her aide, "the Federation Council is requesting human advisors for their new defense strategies." Kim Ji-woo nodded. "Send them our best people. But make sure they understand one thing." "What is that, ma'am?" "We may have won this war, but we do not want to fight another one. Teach them our weapons, so that everyone is too afraid to start conflicts." Her aide understood. The best way to prevent war was to make sure everyone knew how devastating it would be. In space, human and alien ships now patrolled together. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Advanced technology was not always better than simple solutions applied with skill and determination. The Federation had spent thousands of years building the most sophisticated energy weapons in the galaxy. But in the end, they were defeated by humans who had simply learned to throw rocks very, very fast. And throughout the galaxy, military strategists were rewriting their textbooks to include a new fundamental principle. Never underestimate the power of kinetic energy, no matter how primitive it might seem. The age of pure energy warfare was over. The age of hybrid combat had begun. The attack began at sunrise, Earth Standard Time. Federation warships moved toward human defensive positions with their energy shields glowing bright blue. Fleet Commander Zerthak was confident this would be over quickly. No Jung-ho sat at his control station on Luna Base, watching the enemy ships approach on his screen. He was a gunnery sergeant with 20 years of experience, and today he would fire the first shot of the war. Sergeant No. You have permission to engage, came the voice from Earth Command. No looked through his targeting scope at the lead Federation cruiser. It was beautiful in a deadly way, sleek and powerful with energy weapons glowing along its hull. The alien ship's shields were designed to deflect laser beams and plasma bolts, but they had never faced a tungsten rod moving at 12% of light speed. Firing Railgun Alpha, No announced calmly. He pressed the trigger. Deep in the lunar surface, massive electromagnetic coils activated with a sound like thunder. A tungsten projectile, no bigger than a telephone pole, accelerated down the launch tube at incredible speed. The projectile covered the distance to the Federation ship in less than 2 seconds. The alien crew never saw it coming. The tungsten rod passed through the cruiser's energy shields like they were not there. The shields were designed to stop energy, not matter. The projectile punched through the ship's armor, through the interior compartments, and out the other side. The Federation cruiser exploded in a ball of fire and debris. Direct hit, reported No with satisfaction. Target destroyed. Aboard the Federation flagship, Captain Mordek stared at his screen in shock. His lead cruiser had just vanished in an instant. What happened? Demanded Zerthak over the communication system. Unknown, sir. The ship just exploded. I am detecting massive energy readings from the lunar surface. Energy weapons? Impossible. Scans show the humans only have primitive technology. Mordek studied his instruments. Sir, I'm not detecting any energy weapon signatures, but something destroyed our ship. Before Zerthak could respond, 2 more Federation cruisers exploded. The lunar railgun battery was firing as fast as the coils could recharge. In Earth's atmosphere, Han Yujin was climbing toward space in her fighter craft. She was one of Earth's best pilots, and her ship carried miniaturized railgun pods under each wing. Squadron Leader Han to all units, she transmitted. Enemy fighters approaching from Sector 7. Engage at will. The Federation fighters were fast and deadly, armed with plasma cannons and particle beams. They flew in perfect formation, confident in their superiority over primitive human aircraft. Han Yujin selected her first target and fired a railgun pod. The small tungsten dart shot forward at tremendous speed, too fast for the alien pilot to see or dodge. The Federation fighter disintegrated as the projectile tore through its structure. What kind of weapon was that? Transmitted a confused alien pilot. I do not know, came the reply. It was not energy-based. Some kind of projectile weapon. Han Yujin smiled grimly and selected her next target. The aliens were learning, but it might be too late. On the orbital defense platform Incheon Station, Commander Kwok Seungman was coordinating the defense of Earth's space. His station had the largest railgun in human history, a massive weapon called Thor's Hammer. Sir, Federation dreadnoughts approaching, reported his tactical officer, Ryu Chae-young. 3 capital ships, all with maximum shielding. Kwok looked at the approaching vessels. Each one was 3 times the size of any human ship, bristling with weapons and protected by energy shields that could stop a nuclear explosion. Load Thor's Hammer with a 500-kilogram tungsten penetrator, he ordered. Yes, sir. Coils charging to maximum power. The weapon took 3 minutes to charge fully. During that time, the Federation ships continued their confident advance. Their commanders had no idea what was about to hit them. Thor's Hammer ready to fire, reported the weapons officer. Target the flagship, said Kwok. Fire. The orbital station shook as enormous amounts of electrical energy poured through the railgun coils. The tungsten penetrator shot forward like a spear thrown by an angry god. The projectile hit the Federation flagship at 15% of light speed. The ship's energy shields meant nothing against solid matter moving that fast. The penetrator punched completely through the massive vessel and continued toward the ship behind it. Both Federation dreadnoughts were destroyed in the same shot. Aboard the remaining Federation command ship, Zerthak watched his fleet disappear on the tactical display. In less than an hour, he had lost over half his vessels to some kind of unknown weapon. Science officer, what are the humans using against us? The science officer looked terrified. Sir, I believe they are using kinetic projectiles. Solid matter accelerated to relativistic velocities. That is impossible. No civilization uses kinetic weapons. They are too primitive. Sir, primitive does not mean ineffective. A chunk of metal moving at 10% light speed carries more energy than our largest plasma cannons. Zerthak felt cold fear for the first time in his military career. Why are our shields not stopping these weapons? Because shields are designed to deflect energy, sir. They cannot stop solid matter. The truth was starting to sink in. The Federation had spent thousands of years perfecting energy-based warfare. Every ship, every defense system, every tactical doctrine was built around energy weapons. They had forgotten that matter could be just as deadly as energy. Back on Luna Base, No Jung-ho was reloading his railgun for another shot. Around him, other gun crews were doing the same. The lunar defense grid had 12 railgun installations, and all of them were firing as fast as possible. "Sergeant," called his spotter. More enemy ships approaching from the asteroid belt. No adjusted his targeting system. "How many?" 20 cruisers, 10 destroyers. "Good," said No grimly. "More targets." The Federation reinforcements approached at high speed, their commanders determined to avenge their fallen comrades. They had analyzed the first battle and thought they understood what had happened. "Human energy weapons are more advanced than we thought," transmitted the squadron commander. "Increase shield power to maximum." But extra shield power meant nothing against tungsten rods traveling at relativistic speeds. The second wave of Federation ships died, just as quickly as the first. In the asteroid belt, more Federation vessels were arriving every hour. Fleet Admiral Kekstall was bringing the entire 7th Battle Group to crush the human rebellion. "Sir," reported his aide, "we have lost contact with Fleet Commander Zerthak." "What? That is impossible. Zerthak had over 100 ships." "Yes, sir, but long-range sensors show massive debris fields around Earth. I think the entire attack fleet has been destroyed." Kekstall could not believe it. A primitive species with chemical rockets had destroyed a Federation battle fleet? It was impossible. What weapons are the humans using? "Unknown, sir. Our survivors report some kind of projectile weapons that can penetrate energy shields." Kekstall studied the tactical reports. Whatever the humans were using, it was devastatingly effective against Federation technology. Back on Earth, Kim Ji-woo was receiving reports from all the battle zones. The news was better than anyone had dared hope. "Minister," said Park Min-ho, "preliminary casualty reports show minimal human losses. 3 fighters destroyed, minor damage to 2 orbital platforms. Federation losses are catastrophic. How many of their ships have we destroyed?" Park Min-ho checked his data. 63 confirmed kills, 27 severely damaged. They are retreating from all positions. Kim Ji-woo felt relief wash over her, but she knew this was not over. "They will be back," she said, "and next time they will be prepared for our weapons." "Maybe," said Park Min-ho, "but now they know that humans are not primitive. They know we can fight back." In space, the surviving Federation ships were fleeing toward their home territories. For the first time in galactic history, the Federation had been defeated in battle by a species they had considered primitive. The balance of power in the galaxy was about to change forever.